Hertz was once the comeback story of the rental world. Fresh out of bankruptcy in 2021, the company promised a bold new future. But 3 years later, that future has collapsed into a $2.9 billion loss. And now Hertz is rushing to unload more than 30,000 electric cars. What went wrong? Is this the beginning of Hertz's second downfall? In 2020, Hertz wasn't just struggling, it was collapsing. Airports were empty, bookings evaporated overnight, and a company that had survived wars, recessions, and oil crises suddenly couldn't survive a global lockdown. When travel demand fell off a cliff, the financial damage was instant and brutal. Hertz was forced into bankruptcy, one of the highest-profile corporate failures of the pandemic era. But the collapse wasn't only about lost customers. Hertz had relied heavily on asset-backed loans, financing tied directly to the value of its cars. And when used car prices plunged in those chaotic early months, the company owed more to lenders than it could pay. A single percentage drop in the value of Hertz's fleet cost tens of millions. When prices fell sharply, the business model cracked wide open. For more than a year, Hertz was frozen between life and death. Then, in July 2021, they finally emerged from bankruptcy with new investors, new expectations, and one very clear mission: reinvent the company before history repeated itself. And that is when a familiar figure stepped in. Mark Fields, the former CEO of Ford, joined Hertz's leadership team with a mandate to make the company relevant again, to shed the old-school car rental image, to rebuild the brand as something modern, innovative, and future-oriented. Hertz didn't just want to recover, they wanted to leap ahead of every competitor in the rental industry. According to Fields, electric vehicles are now mainstream. It was more than a slogan. It was the new identity Hertz wanted for itself. An identity far removed from the outdated counterdesks, aging sedans, and budget-only perception that had defined them for years. To Fields and the board, the path forward seemed obvious. If the future of transportation was electric, then the future of car rentals had to be electric too. They believed EVs would lower costs, simplify maintenance, attract younger customers, and position Hertz as the bold, progressive brand leading the industry into a new era. But behind that optimism was something else: pressure. Hertz had just survived a historic bankruptcy, and the company had to look strong. Investors needed proof the business could evolve. Airports needed confidence that Hertz was stable again. Consumers needed a reason to return. So Hertz made a decision that would define everything that followed. Instead of easing back into the market, they would bet their entire comeback on one giant dramatic pivot, becoming the first rental company in the world to go all in on electric vehicles. A bold move, a confident move, and ultimately, a disastrous one. When Hertz stepped out of bankruptcy, they didn't just want to rebuild. They wanted to make a statement big enough to convince the world that Hertz wasn't the tired, outdated rental brand people remembered, but the company leading the next era of travel. That statement came in October 2021. Hertz announced it would purchase 100,000 Teslas by the end of 2022. The single largest EV order ever placed by a rental company. It wasn't a pilot program. It wasn't a test fleet. It was an all-in transformation. And it didn't stop there. Hertz also revealed plans to buy 65,000 Polestar EVs over 5 years, and they entered talks to add models from GM's Ultium-based electric lineup once production scaled up. To Wall Street, this wasn't just aggressive, it was historic. The reaction was instant. After going public again on the NASDAQ, Hertz's stock price surged nearly 40% following the announcement. For investors, this was the kind of bold, cinematic comeback move they had been waiting for. A bankrupt company suddenly positioning itself as the champion of electric mobility? It felt like the perfect turnaround story, but why place a bet this massive, this fast, right after barely surviving financial collapse? Because on paper, it made perfect sense. Gasoline prices were spiking. Maintenance on traditional cars was expensive and unpredictable. EVs promised lower fueling costs, fewer moving parts, no oil changes, and less time in repair shops. For a rental fleet, where every hour off the road costs money, EVs looked like the ideal way to boost margins. And then there was the company they were buying from. Tesla had just crossed a $1 trillion valuation. Their profit margins were rising. They dominated the EV market globally,
outperforming legacy automakers by a staggering margin.
To many, Tesla wasn't just a company. It was proof that the electric future had already arrived. Governments agreed.
EV subsidies were flowing across Europe, China, and the US.
Automakers were committing eye-watering budgets. GM with $35 billion for EVs by 2025, Volkswagen with $100 billion over 5 years.
The industry was betting completely on electrification, and Hertz didn't want to be the last one to join the party.
In that moment, the logic was simple. If Tesla is winning, if governments are pushing EVs, if consumers want cleaner cars, then the first rental company to go fully electric would own the future. Hertz wanted that spotlight. They wanted to be the hero, the rental company that embraced innovation long before anyone else dared.
But what looked visionary on paper soon collided with reality on the ground.
And Hertz was about to discover that being early doesn't always mean being right. The moment Hertz's new electric fleet hit the roads, the excitement lasted about a week. Very quickly, the company discovered that the real world of EV rentals looked nothing like the clean spreadsheets and optimistic projections that had fueled the big bet. The first shock came from repairs. EVs didn't need oil changes, true, but everything they did need was far more expensive. Hertz found that repair and maintenance costs were nearly 20% higher than for comparable gasoline cars. Not because the vehicles were unreliable, but because when something went wrong, it required specialists, proprietary tools, and parts that were often back-ordered for months. A minor fender bender that would have taken a day to fix on a Toyota Corolla could sideline a Tesla for weeks. Battery housings, sensors, and electronic control units weren't items you could replace at the corner shop. Even certified body shops were overwhelmed, creating long wait times and long stretches of rental cars sitting idle, costing Hertz money every hour they were off the road. And then came the renters. Many customers had never driven an EV before. They weren't prepared for range planning, charging etiquette, or the quirks of electric torque, especially torque. The Model 3 and Model Y, even in standard configurations, accelerate harder and faster than most rental customers expected. One renter in Arizona reported spinning the tires at an intersection simply because he pressed the accelerator like a normal car. Another in Florida crashed into a parking barrier after underestimating the instant throttle response.
In Colorado, a winter tourist sent a nearly new Model Y sliding into a snowbank after regenerative braking kicked in harder than expected on icy roads.
And those weren't isolated stories. Collision incidents climbed fast, and each crash meant another expensive repair queue and more downtime.
Weather added a new layer of trouble. Winter conditions reduced range significantly, leaving some renters stranded or panicked as their EVs lost charge faster in cold air. In hotter states like Nevada or Texas, battery cooling systems worked overtime, cutting range and increasing charging time. Customers who just wanted a simple, stress-free vacation found themselves juggling charging apps, searching for stations, or waiting in long lines at overused fast chargers. Meanwhile, Hertz's internal teams were overwhelmed with calls from renters who couldn't understand why their car lost 15% battery overnight, or why a charging station delivered only half the expected speed. What was supposed to be a modern, seamless, futuristic rental experience became unpredictable, slower, and far more expensive than Hertz ever imagined. And this was only the beginning. Because the real disaster wasn't happening on the road,
it was happening on Hertz's balance sheet. Long before Hertz dreamed of becoming the face of electric mobility, there was a quieter threat built deep into its business model. One that had already pushed the company into bankruptcy once before. It wasn't demand. It wasn't competition. It wasn't even the pandemic itself. It was depreciation. Rental companies don't really own their fleets in the traditional sense. They're financed using asset-backed securities, loans tied directly to what the cars will be worth later on. If those resale values drop more than expected, Hertz owes lenders extra cash to cover the difference. A small dip is manageable. A big dip is catastrophic. This system is exactly what cracked in 2020. When travel collapsed and used car prices briefly plunged, Hertz suddenly faced massive collateral payments it couldn't afford. The company imploded under the weight of those losses. You would think that surviving such a collapse would make Hertz cautious.
But when the EV megabet rolled out, the company assumed they were safer this time. Why?
Because EVs were supposed to hold their value. The logic was simple. Electric cars had fewer mechanical components, less wear, no oil systems, no transmissions, and no engine failures. In theory, they should age more gracefully than gasoline cars. Many analysts believed EVs would suffer far less long-term depreciation. On paper, that sounded perfect for a rental fleet relying heavily on resale values. But this assumption missed a key detail. EVs don't age like gasoline cars at all. They age like smartphones.
The battery is the most expensive part of the vehicle, and it loses capacity over time.
Even a small decline in range can dramatically reduce used market value. A gasoline car with 150,000 miles can still be useful. An EV with a degrading battery triggers buyer hesitation instantly.
And it wasn't just battery health.
EV technology was evolving so fast that last year's model looked outdated overnight. A new charging standard, a faster motor, a slightly cheaper battery, each improvement pushed down the value of older EVs far more aggressively than traditional cars. By comparison, depreciation on gasoline cars is boring, predictable, almost comforting. You know what a 3-year-old Camry is worth. A 3-year-old EV? Far more uncertain. Hertz had just filled its fleet with vehicles whose long-term value depended entirely on a young, volatile market, and they were about to discover that EV depreciation doesn't decline in a smooth curve. It falls off a cliff. The same financial mechanism that destroyed Hertz in 2020 was back. Only this time, it was tied to a fleet of electric cars whose value was about to drop far faster than anyone expected. By early 2023, Hertz's EV fleet was facing a problem far bigger than repair bills or confused renters. A storm was forming across the global car market, one Hertz didn't create but was about to be crushed by. It started with Tesla. After years of rising prices and record demand, Tesla suddenly began cutting prices aggressively across multiple markets. First, the Model 3 dropped by around 6%. Then the Model Y fell by as much as 11%. To consumers, this was great news.
To anyone holding thousands of slightly used Teslas, like Hertz, it was devastating.
A brand new car becoming thousands of dollars cheaper overnight destroys the value of every used example on the market. What buyers were willing to pay for a 1-year-old Model 3 collapsed almost instantly. But Tesla didn't cut prices because they felt generous.
They were reacting to a powerful new competitor, BYD.
BYD wasn't just another Chinese automaker. They were building EVs faster, cheaper, and more efficiently than anyone else on the planet. In 2023, BYD surpassed Tesla in quarterly EV sales, the first company ever to do so. Their battery technology was cheaper to produce, their factories were optimized, their supply chain was vertically integrated.
Most importantly, BYD could profitably sell EVs at prices Tesla couldn't match.
This triggered an international price war, with Tesla dropping prices again and again to defend its market share. Every reduction pushed global used EV resale values lower, including the thousands sitting on Hertz lots. And this wasn't the end of the downward pressure. A massive EV oversupply was emerging. Legacy automakers had ramped up production expecting explosive growth, but US buyers weren't moving as fast as Europe or China. European cities pushed EV adoption through incentives and restrictions. China built an enormous charging network and flooded the market with affordable options. But in the US, drivers were slower to switch. Charging infrastructure lagged. Distances were longer. Cold and hot climates reduced range. And many buyers simply weren't ready to reshape their habits around battery charging. So while automakers produced more EVs than ever, American demand didn't keep pace. Inventory piled up. Dealers offered discounts. Manufacturers slashed MSRPs. And the resale market went into freefall. For Hertz, this created a perfect storm. A fleet of EVs losing value faster than any gasoline car in the company's history. Not because of anything Hertz did wrong, but because the global EV market itself was collapsing under price cuts, oversupply, and intensifying competition. The same cars Hertz expected to hold their value became anchors, pulling the company's balance sheet underwater, and the worst financial blow was still ahead. By late 2024, the numbers finally caught up with Hertz. and they were brutal. The company had spent years building an electric fleet that was supposed to save money, strengthen margins, and reshape its brand. Instead, the cars became a financial sinkhole. The first blow was depreciation. As Tesla and BYD battled in a global price war, used EV prices fell faster than anyone predicted. Hertz was forced to write down $245 million in just one quarter, a staggering adjustment for a fleet that was barely 2 years old. But that was only a preview of the real damage. As the resale market deteriorated, Hertz made a decision they hoped they would never have to make. They began unloading their EVs, quietly, quickly, and at whatever price the market would bear. By the end of 2024, the company had sold around 30,000 electric vehicles, many at steep discounts. Low-mileage Tesla Model 3s were listed for $17,000 to $20,000, nearly half of what Hertz originally paid. Customers browsing Hertz's used inventory found cars newer and cheaper than anything available on the traditional market. Good for buyers, disastrous for Hertz.
The losses piled up.
In February 2025, Hertz reported its full-year earnings, a staggering $2.9 billion net loss. The EV experiment, the bold reinvention, the industry-leading pivot, it all ended in the same place Hertz had been before, crushed by asset values, collapsing faster than the company could react. With the financial damage spreading across every part of the business, Hertz needed a reset.
In April 2024, they brought in a new CEO, Gil West, a former GM and Cruise executive known for operational discipline.
His mandate was simple: stop the bleeding. West immediately shifted the company back to basics. Fewer risky bets, smaller EV hors d'oeuvres, a refocus on reliability, predictable depreciation, and customer experience. Internally, the strategy was described as a critical transformation, not toward a futuristic identity, but toward stability.
Hertz's 2025 plan is grounded, cautious, and almost humble.
Strengthen operations, cut unnecessary fleet complexity,
Balance EVs with gasoline cars.
rebuild trust with lenders and investors. The dream of becoming the world's first all-electric rental giant is gone. In its place stands a company trying to survive the consequences of a gamble that was bold, ambitious, and catastrophically mistimed. Hertz's story isn't a failure of electric vehicles. It's a failure of timing, strategy, and infrastructure. EVs weren't the problem. The world around them simply wasn't ready. The customers weren't prepared. And the financial model Hertz relied on collapsed the moment the market shifted beneath their feet. Electric cars can work in rental fleets. They already do, in places where demand, charging access, and resale values align. Hertz moved first, but not wisely, and not at the right moment. If you found this breakdown valuable, consider subscribing. It helps us keep making deep dive investigations like this one. And if you want to see another example of engineering ambition turning into a billion-dollar disaster, watch our video on Honda's $48 billion recall disaster, when precision engineering backfires.